Good evening, YouTube, I guess this time. Sorry I was slacking on my Leafs video. Uh, didn't have time to do it this morning. It was another crazy Friday morning at our house. Last night the Leafs were in San Jose. Another late start because of the West Coast business. I was actually over at my buddy Simon's house playing video games on one of our retro gaming nights. So I didn't see the first two periods, but I got home in time just to see the third. And for all intents and purposes, the Leafs showed up just like they did against Los Angeles, and we're on the ball, we're quick, we're moving the puck, and but the only difference is that LA's having a tough year, and they didn't put up much opposition to the Leafs, whereas San Jose, on the other hand, they're one of the Western Conference's top teams right now. So it was really like it was a good kind of track meet kind of game, a lot of back and forth, that sort of thing. In the end, the Leafs won 5-3. Freddie was really good. Most of the stats were pretty even, so it was a pretty close, well-played game. But Freddie had to be good. And then all of the big guys showed up and scored the goals. Tavares had one, Marner had one, Kapanen had two, and then Levo had one, which was nice to see, his second of the year. So overall, another really strong effort against, as one of the best teams in the East against one of the best teams in the West, and you saw that product on the ice. Really fast-paced, entertaining affair, and it looked like those players that scored the goals were some of the better players on the Leafs, and but I noticed like the third and fourth lines too. They're all showing up and playing really well on a regular basis now as well. So Levo obviously got a goal, but Lindholm from the start of the season, like I remember some interviews with him saying, he was having problems adjusting to the North American game, and he did look not great at the start of the season, but over the last handful of games, like he's finally found his NHL stride and stuff, and he's starting to get more starting to get some chances, right? Like at the start, he was just not great, but yeah, he's getting chances. He's skating hard. He's getting in there on the forecheck. He's really a different player now than he was at the start of the year, which has really helped that bottom line, flourish. And then Ennis has looked good again. Like Kadri last night looked really good. He had a lot of physicality with the Sharks. He got into some little scrums and stuff, and that's when I like Kadri the best, is when he's a guy who he's not a big guy, but he has those games where something pisses him off, and then the rest of the night he's laying people out, and he can hit people hard. He can, if he gets a chance, he doesn't hold back, and he can really lay people out. So I like him best when he's playing that way, because he has that edge, and that's when he's at his best. So it was nice to see that last night, and he's been scoring lately too, so hopefully that just helps keep him going, and hopefully we see more of that from him in the future, because to be honest, the rough stuff is what I like. I love fights, I love hits, I love things colliding and getting broken and destructed. I can't help it. It's just kind of a man thing. And growing up watching hockey all my life, especially in the 80s and stuff, like people punching each other in the face was great entertainment. And now the NHL is certainly different. Lots of skill out there, but you know what? There was tons of skill in the 80s and 90s too. And the whole dead puck era, I didn't have a problem with that. I find watching games from the 80s are actually a lot more entertaining than the hockey now. Just with the thing is, when they don't call penalties, there's never any whistles. So the game, they roll four lines, and it's just, the game is back and forth. You got Lemieux and Gretzky never had problems scoring 80 goals a year or whatever. I think Gretzky 92 or whatever it was, he had the one year, with people hooking onto him and stuff. It's this whole thing now, the game's all choppy, and there's so many whistles, there's so many power plays, special teams is deciding everything. It's just and Bettman going into the Hall of Fame while he's still commissioner kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I know he's done things to grow the game, but he's also done things to change the game, not for the better, and one of them, I think, is the physicality is gone. There's hardly any hits anymore, there's barely any fights, and all these goofy rules about face-offs. Back in the day, you'd have Peter Zezel and his low center of gravity and using his feet to do everything against somebody. I don't know who else, but was it Tikkanen? Somebody used to always use their glove and smack it back. Get really low and the face-offs were kind of the best face-off method. It was like artwork. It wasn't just swinging your stick and hoping you get the puck. I know there's more to it than that, but that's basically what it is now. There was more character in the game. There was more personality and uniqueness, I guess. Now it's just kind of, all the rules. It's kind of like hockey playing robots. And I mean, there's tons of skill out there, but still, it's like, a lot of the personality has been taken out of the game. And that's what I don't like about the current commissioner. And about the current game. But, it is what it is, and the Leafs have tons of great players, and it's still amazing. I mean, the NHL is the best hockey league in the world, and it always has been, and it probably always will be. I just kind of would wish they would kind of find a happy median between what they've got now and what was in the past, because it was... this is entertaining for certain reasons, but that was entertaining for certain reasons, and I found it actually a little more entertaining. So, but that's a bit of a tangent. Just the whole Kadri rough stuff kind of got me thinking about that, and yeah, Bettman's just always rubbed me the wrong way, so I had to mention that too. So, but anyways, the Leafs are in Anaheim tonight for a back-to-back, so Sparks will probably be in net, and he's had a couple of questionable outings so far to start the year, even though he got the win in Chicago in a track meet. He shouldered the Boston loss in a game which the Leafs looked pretty good. So hopefully he can get things on track and maybe turn in a 2 or less goal performance against sort of thing. That would be nice, but we'll see what happens. Game time is 10 o'clock, so I won't be up quite as late tonight, but I'll be sitting on the couch with a coffee trying to keep my eyes open. And we'll see what happens tomorrow morning.